Good evening. Today is Wednesday, October 20th, 2021. Today is the regular session of the Board of School Trustees for the School City of East Chicago. The time is now 6:02 p.m. The place, School City of East Chicago Administration Building, 1401 East 144th Street in East Chicago, Indiana, 46312. The meetings also being streamed via www.stec.k12.in.us. This is a meeting of the school board in public for the purpose of conducting the school corporation's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. We do ask that people are mindful and respectful of those who are presenting as well as the board. The first item we have is our call to order, and Ms. Bigum, please roll call.
Trustee Rodriguez.
Present.
Trustee Gomez.
Present.
Trustee Williams.
Present.
Trustee Smith. Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Present. Second item is the Pledge of Allegiance. Can we please rise? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda will be our presentations, and we have our first, which is social emotional learning. Dr. Finley?
Madam President,
I'm sorry. First, we have the agenda. I always skip over that one because it's brand new. Do I have a motion for the approval of today's agenda?
Madam President, move for approval.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for approval.
I'll second.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Any questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call.
Trustee Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trustee Gomez.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Now we will move to the presentation, and it's Dr. Finley, Social Emotional Learning.
Good evening, everyone. I have asked our Director of Social and Emotional Learning, Ms. Jennifer Beckham, to present to the community, School City of East Chicago family. Everything that we're doing right now to be able to address the social and emotional needs of our students throughout the entire district. So I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Beckham at this time.
Good evening to the school board of School City trustees of School City East Chicago, family, staff, and community members. I'm Jennifer Beckham, the Director of Social Emotional Learning. And I'm going to share with you all a little bit about what Sdl is and some of the things that we currently have in place as I enter the district, things that were already in place, what the board has approved to bring to our district, and some items that we would like to do going forward. All right, so what is Sdl? Sdl is the process through which all students and adults acquire and apply knowledge, skills, and attitudes to develop healthy identities and manage their own emotions. Sdl helps students learn to show empathy for each other, establish and maintain supportive relationships, and make responsible decisions. So I know that's a mouthful, right? So when you really think about Sdl, it's really about building community and relationships, right? And that means staff, students, and both together. We want our kids to be able to build those relationships. We want our staff to be able to have those relationships with our kids, but we also want our kids to have relationships with each other. When we think about Sdl, it really focuses on 3 areas: using data to identify students' needs, providing intervention, and understanding and improving the climate and culture of our building. So what do we currently have in place for Sdl? So as I entered in our district over the summer, things that were already in place, and I didn't put everything because we do have more, but just in summary, what do we have in place? So currently we have what's called an Sst Team. An Sst Team is a student success team, and we have each one in every building. They meet twice a month. It's consisted of deans, social workers, teachers, counselors, truancy officers, and administrators. What does the team do? They really seek to collect data to identify the needs of our students. What data are they collecting? They look at the deans share data about discipline and attendance. Building administrators share data about academic data. And so we look to bring it all together, right? How are our kids doing with attendance? How are our kids doing academically? How are our kids doing discipline-wise? When a concern is identified, the Sst Team identifies and implements intervention to address the student's needs. So when they're bringing the data forth, it's not just to have a discussion, but it's to say, these are the needs and these are the interventions we're looking for to help support our students' needs. The team will then continue to meet to see if the interventions are effective. These meetings happen twice a month. So they meet, they identify needs, and then they implement. And then they go back to the data to see if anything that they're doing is working and effective for the kids, whether that's academic, whether that's behaviorally, whether that's attendance-wise. So what new interventions have we brought? So the first one I'm just going to discuss briefly is called Infinity Health and Wellness. So the board approved Infinity in late August, and so they're a mental health agency, and they come into our buildings. They're assigned. There's a therapist assigned to each building, and they provide therapy for our students. And the reason why we thought that was important is because a lot of times our families are working, and it's hard for them to get our students to these appointments. And so with them coming into the building, it breaks down, it eliminates that barrier of a parent who's working having to get the child there. Of course, we have to have parent consent for these services. So each child that is receiving these services, a parent has signed off for. And currently we have about 50 students who have been referred to Infinity in the district. And also, not only can they provide therapy to our students, they can do it for families if our families want those supports, and they also can provide substance abuse services for our students who we identify have that issue. And so that is one of the interventions that we have currently. What's new? So the board also approved a program called Panorama. And the reason why Panorama is so important is because it brings all 3, the data, the climate, and the intervention. So how will Panorama support our district? Sdl is made up of understanding and improving the climate and culture of our schools. So to be able to understand that we need something to show the climate and culture. So we have, Panorama has surveys that we can send out for our students and our staff. And so we can figure out where our climate and culture is, and then be able to identify the strengths and the weaknesses and be able to put interventions in place if needed. So they bring that data. They also provide data as well. So Panorama gives us Sdl Assessments. So what it does is the state of Indiana have identified 6 different competencies. So one, I'll give you an example, is self-regulation. So if you have a student in your class and you're like, what's going on with this kid? He's really struggling. You can give them a quick assessment. It's very friendly and easy to use to identify what their struggles are as far as SDL goes, right? As far as those 6 competencies goes. And then Panorama gives us interventions. So if you identify a kid is struggling regulating their emotions, they can't do it on their own, then that teacher can then go to the toolbox on Panorama and be able to identify an intervention there and provide it for the students. And it may not be for the students, it might be for the entire class if that's a need. But we can then pinpoint what our students' struggles are. And so it's the interventions are all evidence-based practice. They're CASEL approved. And Panorama, what I like about it is a lot of times we buy interventions, and so like some staff may not like this intervention, some staff may not like that intervention, or they feel this one is not working for their kiddos. It gives us 15 different curriculums, so it's not one curriculum, it's several that can help no matter what your needs are in the classroom. So Panorama is going to integrate with our system that we have in place called Skyward. And so that is a process. It does take a while for this to integrate. It takes about 8 weeks to be able to pull all the data that is in Skyward into the system. But then once we do that, we'll start training and rolling that out. All right, so these are some series. I work with Sylvia Alvarez to put together some supports for our families. So these are some of the supports that we're putting in for our families. I'm really introducing some of, I think that School City of East Chicago has tons of community supports. But I'm concerned that our families don't know always what's available to them. So these supports families will be able to attend, and then they'll be able to sign up if they feel like their student needs extra help in something. If they need help with Infinity, they'll be able to come see what Infinity has to offer and sign up. If they're HealthLink, I reached out to them because some of our kiddos don't have health insurance. So putting things in place so that our families can get those needs met and be able to sign up right then and there and be able to get those supports. So these are coming up. They're on our website. So if you go to our website on the homepage, they're there. Parents, we ask you guys to register just for COVID so we can keep track of numbers, but they're on the website. All right, and what's in the works? So I've been talking with Dr. Finley. One thing I really wanted to bring to our district is a mentoring program. One thing when we look at data, when it talks about interventions as far as violence, the data I've seen has all talked about mentoring, because a lot of times our kids are lacking those connections and they don't really necessarily know how to make them, right? They've been at home for 18 months on the computer or texting. Kids don't talk on the phone anymore. They spend hours just texting. They spend hours behind video games. So those social skills that we learn naturally, they're not getting as much. So we want to bring a mentoring program. I don't have all the details in place yet because we're in the works of it. However, I did speak with schools and communities in schools today, and they're going to work with us to get this going. So I have a meeting with them tomorrow. So these are just some of the facts about mentoring and why it's important and why I want to bring it to our district. And that is it from me. Do we have any questions?
I do just, first off, thank you. I saw those interventions on the website, and Ms. Alvarez has been spreading it on Facebook. And I'm thinking maybe we could do poster boards at local grocery stores or the library, just so that we could find other places so that people could actually see them. Possibly have something where we could, put it in Spanish so that while I understand that we have it written in English, but then we could have our Spanish interventionists do that, as well as they could just be there. If someone wants to find out exactly what's happening, someone could translate for them. And then just assessments that we have for the Panorama, all done by teachers. Teachers get trained to do assessments, and then that's how you divulge what's called the
Panorama SEL surveys?
yeah. So the teachers are the ones that are trained to do that, right?
So there's a couple surveys. So there are surveys that we can administer to our students as a district. So I will meet with Panorama, and probably our IT team, and we will roll out a survey to all of our kiddos except for second grade and under, because it wouldn't be valid if they can't necessarily understand it. So we'll roll it out to third grade and up and get information on the climate and culture, how they're feeling about school. And then we can also do a separate survey for our staff. And so they have several choices of surveys. So I will talk with Dr. Finley to pick out specifically what areas we want to fine tune and look at, and then we will roll those out. And then there's the surveys the teachers can do in the classroom. And those are the SEL surveys to look at like what skill sets do our students have and what areas are they lacking in. And then when they get those surveys, and so teachers can learn, those are actually pretty easy too. But we would definitely do training so everyone is, feels confident in rolling those out. And then they can take those survey results and then literally go into what's called a toolbox and say, okay, well, Miss Orange is struggling with X, Y, and Z. So let's give her these lessons for the next 3 to 6 months. Do a survey again, and then we can see your growth and see if those areas have been able to be improved on.
That was all. Any? That's it.
Nope, I just want to say thank you.
All right, thank you, guys.
The next presentation we have is an update on COVID-19 protocols. Dr. Finley.
Absolutely. As we all know, COVID-19 continues to be a fluid topic throughout the country. It's not just unique to East Chicago, but we do have some additional parameters that we put in place to be able to support our schools and our students and our staff. One of the main things that we've been saying as a district team and communicating with one another is that we want to protect education. And part of protecting education means that we have to thoroughly clean, and sometimes even when we thoroughly clean, we get a positive case, and depending on how it's spread throughout the building, we have to take some short breaks. So what I wanted to show you is what we've done to update our plan. The one that you see right now on the screen is in Spanish. And if you go to the other page, there's one that's in English as well. I believe it's on the desktop. Everyone should have received a hard copy of it. What you see here that's on the flip side is Spanish, but if you turn it over, it's in English. There are 2 specific things that we have modified to the plan that I want to definitely share with the community, as it is very important. So our COVID protocol has been modified to the requirements from the East Chicago Health Department, okay? Best practices state that we should coordinate our return to learn plans with our local health department, which is what we do. So I want to say that out loud. We do coordinate and collaborate with our East Chicago Health Department whenever we make decisions regarding COVID-19 in the district. So what we had on our previous plan, which was last week, we currently had under schedule, under orange and red, if you go to the document that you have in your hand, we used to have, if we have a 5% positivity threshold in our current plan for those who tested positive, that the students will still remain in school and we would do some other things. But what we have updated the orange and red to, as far as schedule is concerned, is to reflect the following. Students attend school 5 days a week in person unless staffing cannot be maintained, or if a school hits the 5% threshold for positive cases and close contacts quarantine. We will move to live virtual instruction in that building for 3 to 5 days so that we can deep clean. So that is one of the main things that we have now changed to be able to keep our kids in school and our staff in school, and we don't have to take these long breaks away from our building. And this is in coordination and collaboration with the East Chicago Health Department. I also want to say to everyone, the definition of close contact, I think we need to call that out as well. We are using the CDC guidance with that. The definition of close contact is someone who sits less than 3 feet away from a student or staff member who tests positive. So if a staff member or student tests positive and those students are within 3 feet of that staff member or student, they are considered a close contact. Okay, so your son or daughter, or even the staff member in this case, will receive a notice from the school nurse if they are considered a close contact. So you may be in a classroom with someone that possibly tests positive or for a COVID, and you may be 7 feet away from them. You're not considered a close contact, okay? So I want to talk about the incident from yesterday. If you know me, I like to be transparent. So yesterday we moved Washington to live instruction because we had a positive case in our building, and that individual traveled from classroom to classroom. The positive case was in close contact with several teachers and several students. So tonight on our board docket, under personnel, we have 2 CNAs on the board docket, which we are seeking approval. And moving forward, we will have 1 CNA in the district who will handle all of the contact tracing. This individual is already working for us in the district. We just haven't been able to utilize her to the fullest extent because we are short-staffed in nursing. So the approval from the board tonight will assist us with contact tracing. But we want to remind everyone that we must wear masks when in the building. Students and staff, no matter who you are, you should have a mask on. This includes maintenance, administration building, etc. It is a requirement and not optional. Parents, please keep your students home if they're sick. And if they have symptoms of COVID, please get them tested. If they test positive for COVID, please contact your school as soon as possible. And the East Chicago Health Department is also available to support. As I stated and started this statement out, we must really work hard to protect education. Our students in grades 3 through 8 are academically and socially behind 3 to 4 years, and we are afraid to return to virtual learning because of the long-term impact on our students' academic and social well-being. So I placed handouts, as I stated, in English and Spanish for you to keep. This information is also on our website in English and in Spanish. And as a reminder, we do update our COVID data on a weekly basis. You can find this on the main page of our website. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Finley. Next, we'll move to the business. Oh, I'm sorry, did anyone have any questions? Board? Okay, now we'll move to the business portion of the meeting. The first item is approval of 9/7/2021 meeting minutes. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I move for approval.
Trustee Gomez makes the motion for approval.
I'll second that.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Are there any questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
Trustee Gomez,
Yes.
Trustee Williams,
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 2, approval of claim docket. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I move for approval.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for approval.
I second that.
Trustee Williams seconds the motion. Any questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
Trustee Gomez,
Yes.
Trustee Williams,
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 3, approval of personnel report. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I make a motion for approval.
Trustee Williams makes a motion for approval.
I'll second.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Any questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
Trustee Gomez,
Yes.
Trustee Williams,
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 4, approval of distribution of payroll. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, make a motion to approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
I second that motion.
Trustee Williams seconds the motion. Any questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
Trustee Gomez,
Yes.
Trustee Williams,
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 5, approval of donation report. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I make a motion to approve donation.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
I second that motion.
Trustee Williams seconds the motion. Any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez?
the item dealing with the business office from the Health Link, is that coming through HR or where is that coming through? That request?
Is-
Is that the hand sanitizer?
Yes, that's the hand sanitizer.
That's coming through business office. She dropped it off at
Okay.
the business office.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Ms. Bingham, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 6, approval of fundraiser report. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I make a motion for approval.
Trustee Williams makes a motion for
Second.
approval. Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion.
That's Trustee Gomez.
Oh, sorry, Trustee Gomez. Any questions? Ms. Bingham, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 7, approval to modify English learning specialist job, Dr. Finley.
We are requesting that the EL, or the English Language Learners Specialist job description, be revised to add some qualifications, some essential job functions, such as SIOP training to the district and/or school, WIDA framework, giving them access to assessment data, helping them to get more detailed information about what's happening in the classroom and conferencing with teachers, and working and creating individual learning plans for EL students. This is what's not in the job description right now, so we're asking that it's updated.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, make a motion to approve the
Trust-
revisions.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Gomez seconds the motion. Any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez?
going through this document, additions and deletions, is the bolded part the additions?
No, everything that's on the side is where it says master's degree preferred. I mean, everything that's there, it's there. It's not that it's anything new. It's just highlighted on there, that's it.
Okay.
It's just to emphasize.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Madam President?
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yeah, I was a little confused too, because I noticed that you have one side additions, the other side deletions. So everything in bold on additions is what's been added, and on the other side, everything that's on deletions, that's bold, is deleted, correct?
It is going to be deleted, correct?
Okay.
Any other questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Williams?
is this position already filled, Dr. Finley? or-
Yes, these positions are already filled. We're just updating their job descriptions and their duties.
Okay.
Any other-
Jill, I'm
Oh.
sorry, Mr. Harris, this is an administrative position, am I correct? No?
No, it's not.
Okay. Is this person under contract? Well, I think my question is, with these changes, if a person signed a contract prior to these additions, is it more responsibility added on them? Are we increasing pay? Did the pay decrease? Is it the same?
These individuals' pay will remain the same.
Okay.
Their responsibilities, yes, are increasing. And the best part about this is we did this in collaboration with the specialists that are currently in the jobs.
That's my question. Thank you. Because sometimes, added responsibilities without an pay increase, some people can be,
Yes, we did this in collaboration with the EL specialists that we have on staff to be able to support. These are needs that they saw.
good. Thank
Madam
you.
President?
Attorney Harris?
Yes. Based upon Trustee Williams' comments, I do think it's a good idea to have these individuals sign off on the new job description. You may already be doing that, but just to that point, it may not be a bad idea in the event that there's some issue later that, hey, I didn't agree to the change in the job description, or I do want an increase in compensation as a result. maybe even retroactive, it probably is best to do it on the front end.
I think the additions, that's practice.
Yeah, I don't think you'll have any pushback at all, but as far as documentation goes, it wouldn't hurt.
Madam President,
Trustee Rodriguez.
so my contingent would be, this would be contingent upon the approval of the E&L specialist? Or, I'm not getting it. So you're
No.
saying, so if we approve this today, then you would draft?
No.
Oh,
So my understanding is that what you see is their proposed changes to the job description, and that would be what the new job description is, and your approval is just of this new job description. What I just recommended was that they just have these individuals sign off on their receipt of the new job description. That's all.
And according to Superintendent, Dr. Finley already stated that they are in agreement, so having them sign shouldn't be a problem. I just was wondering on if they had been, if not compensated, but if they had been talked to about this prior, and she just made us aware that it was in collaboration with them.
Any other questions? Trustee
Rodriguez?
Rodriguez, we're okay?
we're good?
Okay.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 8, approval to reinstate Human Resource Secretary, Dr. Finley.
We need to reinstate the Human Resource Secretary position, as noted in the memo that I have sent to you all. It was part of the original RIFs in 2018, and we need to make sure that we address this so we do not get penalized in upcoming audits. So it will be paid, as has always been paid, out of the operations fund. We just need to do our due diligence and make sure it's reinstated by the board.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I make a motion for approval.
Trustee Williams makes a motion for approval.
I'll second.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Rodriguez.
this question's for Leela. Do we have the funds for it? Okay. That's it.
Trustee Gomez.
Thank you. Dr. Finley, can you expound on the second sentence or third sentence there about getting penalized in an upcoming audit?
Yes. So in 2018, we riffed this specific position. Okay? The position and the person in the position was never removed from the position. She had been still working in that position until recently when she retired. So if we ever get audited on this, it shows that the position was riffed in 2018. We didn't reinstate it. However, we've had someone working in this position since 2018.
Trustee Gomez, I think if we recall, when we had all those rifts, immediately afterwards, we ended up having where we brought back a good chunk of individuals to continue to work. Nothing changed in that budget at all. We did release some from their duty, some of them, but nothing changed from the budget. We continue with the same budget from then until now, correct, Ms. Simmons?
She has been employed.
But just in general, all
Yes,
those
no,
positions.
No, all those positions, some of them were eliminated off of the budget and some of them was not. But this young lady had been employed, so her title was eliminated, but her job was not eliminated.
And just correct me if I'm wrong, we eliminated positions, but you kept those positions in the budget. Am I correct in stating that? Or some of them?
Some of them were kept in the budget. The larger dollar amounts were removed from the budget.
Okay. So that's why we're finding these in the system. And I mean, I don't think anyone's really dove into kind of straightening this out. So we're kind of just getting there at this point in time. And thank you, Dr. Finley, Ms. Simmons. Mr. Doctor, for starting to find those little nuances, I guess you could say. Are there any other questions?
Madam President.
Trustee Williams?
Now, with this position being reinstated, upon us approving it, the HR department will consist of HR director, secretary, and there was another one not too long ago that we just approved, right?
The coordinator.
The coordinator.
Correct.
So that department will consist of these three.
That is correct, Trustee Williams.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any other questions?
I just have one comment, Madam President. If it's the intention to avoid an audit finding because of what happened in 2018, it seems as though this approval will need to be retroactive to 2018 then as well. I just want to make sure if a trustee is going to make a motion, it's clear that it's retroactive.
So then trustee Williams will have to state, or change his approval to be reinstated from 2018.
Can we check that date, please, before we make that? And I can step away and check it, but I do believe it was 2017.
I think you are
So-
correct.
So if that's the case, then the amended motion can just be retroactive to the date of the reduction in force.
Okay.
And that way, it'll go back to
Madam
whenever it
President,
happened.
Trustee Williams?
that would be my recommendation on approving this HR secretary position according to the date when we receive it.
So there'll be approval to reinstate the human resource secretary position from the date of reduction in force.
Yep.
Ms. Bigum, you got that?
I believe I seconded, so
Yes.
I do second that.
So trustee Williams makes the motion and trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Good? Okay. Any other questions for that?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez?
I think that was part of the confusion in reading this. So then my next question is, the need for this position.
When we met a few times, we did talk about the need to increase additional HR supports in the office. We knew that we were going to add an additional human resource coordinator, which we did. You all approved the HR coordinator position. The HR secretary position, the individual in that position retired. So we still need to fill that position in that department.
Repeat that, I'm sorry.
The individual that was the HR secretary in that position retired, so we still need to fill that position.
Right,
So that will put 3 people in that office.
okay. Is this the final staffing contingent for the HR department?
Yes, this is the final, we are not going to add any additional staff to that department. We want to do this the right way so that we can post it and make sure that we are doing things on behalf of the board the right way.
Eventually, though, we'll also have that consultant come off, though.
Yes, we will in January, yes.
Any other questions? Ms. Bigum?
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes,
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 9, approval of contractual agreement with Equitable Education Solutions. Dr. Finley?
This is, we're requesting the approval to EES to be able to receive the money that we owe them essentially for applying for a grant for us for STEM for all of our students. They provided guidance, training, and expertise to our elementary schools for STEM specifically.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, make a motion to approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
Second that motion.
Trustee Williams seconds the motion. Any questions?
Madam President.
Trustee Gomez?
This preceded my return to the board, so I don't know if somebody, Attorney Harris or maybe Ms. Simmons could expound on this. I'm not sure why we're doing this over a year after the fact. I'm sorry, not a year after the fact.
Yeah,
months
when you
after the fact.
originally approved the grant, accepting the grant to the board, there was, the contract for ESS was not in there.
Okay.
So when we are wrapping up the end of this grant and we need to pay out ESS, I have to make sure there is a contract in place for federal requirements for the grant.
Okay, I had some dates wrong. Okay, good, thank you.
Any other questions? Ms. Bigum, please.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes,
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes, item number 10, approval of Schmidt and Schmidt fee letter and conditional assessment proposal. Dr. Finley.
This is a scope of services specifically for a facilities conditional assessment for all of our facilities, with the exception of the transportation center, to be able to have an architect walk through and give us feedback on specifically building, interior finishes, environmental conditions, technology systems within our building. I do believe that two of the trustees were part of that meeting. Trustee Rodriguez and Trustee Williams were part of the meeting that we had with Schmidt and Schmidt. This, with the exception of a couple of the buildings, so I want to say the fitness center, anything related to students for this particular assessment can be paid out of our ESSER funds. And the last three that are not related to our students will have to come out of our operations fund.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, make a motion to approve?
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
I second that motion.
Trustee Williams seconds the motion. Any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
just so I can get my bearings correct here, what would be the difference between the transportation center and the facilities building?
The transportation center we just built, so we wouldn't do that building at all. And the facilities, we do need to at least walk and do an assessment, because that still is our property that we need to go and assess and see what our, what the structure's like, what the interior, exterior, just in case we want to add additional possible programs in there and things of that nature.
Ms. Simmons, we're under warranty, correct? I think you said it a couple meetings ago that the transportation department was still under warranty.
Parts of transportation is still under warranty.
And my second question is, how does this work in relation to the West Calumet Carrigash Center?
That's the facility center.
That's
That's
facilities.
what's considered
Yeah,
facilities?
that's facilities.
Oh, okay,
Facility.
Yeah,
I didn't know that, okay.
yeah, that's facilities.
All right, thanks.
Any other questions? Yeah.
No.
Ms. Bigum.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes,
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 11, approval of Theobalman usage of CHS Central High School football field. Dr. Finley.
Theobalman is hosting their first round of IHSAA sectional footballs, and they want to use our field, and they have submitted all the appropriate paperwork, as including the rental agreement and the certificate of liability, which is attached, and they're going to cover all fees related to their sectional game.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I make a motion for approval.
Trustee Williams makes a motion for approval.
I'll second that motion.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Any questions? Ms. Bigum, please.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
yes,
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 12, approval of high ability grant professional development services. Dr. Finley.
We are requesting board approval for PD for 11 elementary teachers to be able to train on high ability. They're called our high ability team. We're getting ready for next year. Just like we have supports and things in place for our students who have IEPs, we've got to think about the kids as well who are our high ability learners. So we want to put some supports in place for them, and not just our kids, but for our teachers as well. So this is the professional development that we're getting ready for the 22-23 school year. It's titled, What About Our High Kids? That's what it's called.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, make a motion to approve?
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
second,
Trustee Gomez seconds the motion. Any questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Next, we move to old business. And the first item is the contracted service agreement of organization study with administrative assistants. But we had already approved this previously.
Yeah, I can shed some light on that.
Okay.
I think there was some issue regarding the initiation of the work pursuant to this contract. And I know there were some questions from other board members regarding other entities providing this service and doing that in coordination with the superintendent search. I have an update as of today on that issue. I need to circulate that to the board via email and probably discuss this at the next board meeting so that you have an opportunity to review what I just received today. I think I did share with the board president, just forwarded a copy of what I received, but I haven't had a chance to send it out to the entire board and invite you to ask questions and then get it set for the agenda. So
And for the record, this literally happened maybe about an hour ago, not even. So that's the only reason that the board hasn't had.
yeah,
the
and
information.
real briefly, I got a response from Dr. Freeland, who's the head of the university team, and he just shot an email right before the meeting. So I wanted her to be aware that, hey, there's an agenda item related to this issue, and we're not ready to deal with it until the next meeting because we just received this information. So I would recommend that we defer this matter until the next board meeting.
Madam President,
Trustee Rodriguez.
make a motion to defer to next session, next regular session.
Okay, we will in turn,
I second that motion.
but it's not, it's table. Yes, we're tabling to the next meeting, and that's Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval, and Trustee Williams seconds the motion. And are there any questions? Ms. Bigum.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez?
Yes. Next, we'll move to superintendent's remarks.
Thank you so much, Trustee President Orange. Want to say thank you to everyone who came out to support our Cardinal football team last Friday. In case you missed it, we honored our first responders. We want to say thank you. We appreciate and respect your service to our community. Thank you for all that you do. We have water filling stations, so I want to say thank you to the board for approving the water filling stations at one of our previous meetings. They're being installed in every school building. All water filling stations should be installed in every building before Thanksgiving break. Like I just stated, thank you, School City of East Chicago Board, for your support of this project. School safety. We now have a page on our website specifically related to school safety. I was wondering if I was going to ask Ms. Beckham if she could click around on the website and just go to specifically to the school safety one so we can show that to you. And while she's doing that, I'll keep moving on to the next topic. We have Ladies in Law tomorrow. So the Lakeshore Chamber of Commerce has invited School City of East Chicago and a group of students to a luncheon tomorrow, which will include a panel of ladies in law. I'm planning to attend and escort 4 high and 3 middle school students to this event. We are excited that we get a chance to take advantage of these types of opportunities for our students. Okay, back to school safety on our homepage. If you look on the left-hand side, you'll see under home in the menu side, you see home, parents, students. If you go back to home, it's a specific page for school safety there now. So if you click on school safety, you'll see some awesome things. We now have this page specifically related for them. The team has the responsibility to keep this information current on the site. They have their contact information at the bottom on the of the site as well. That would be Officer Chavarria, Officer Howard, and Ms. Sanders. All buildings have received high-level information about their school safety plans. We've had several lockdown drills conducted over the last month. We also have our Say Something hotline, which is available for anyone to call in about anonymous reports that they may receive about safety issues you may hear about that we may be unaware of. We're all better together, so please call the Say Something hotline to help us keep our East Chicago community safe. Thank you, Ms. Beckham. Parent-teacher conferences are next week, Thursday, the 28th. We have parent-teacher conferences, and that is an e-learning day for our students. After meeting with principals, we will have two methods for parents and guardians to meet with teachers. They have the option to either meet with them in person, on site, or virtually. So please stay tuned for additional details from your building principals. And my last item, I want to say thank you to the board for approving a fundraiser tonight. It's a district-wide one. It's the Breast Cancer Awareness Fundraiser. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we look forward to seeing everyone wear pink on Friday, October the 22nd. Please see the head clerk in your building or department for additional details. I just asked for pictures with your permission to post. So thank you, and that's all that I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent. Next, we have the trustee remarks. Any trustee remarks? I just want to say kudos to everyone who is working on this COVID plan. I think we've talked a couple times today. Every time I see something that with questions, I definitely shoot it to Dr. Finley because I understand the community is concerned and they need to find answers. And as a parent, when I don't find an answer, I kind of get a little upset. So the team is doing a good job of finding a way to keep students in school. We don't want that 2 months or month lockdown. So I think little resets kind of does help. I also want to say thank you for bringing something like the breast cancer, because I feel like that's a form of camaraderie amongst the school district, and little things like that I think makes our teachers as well as our students see that we're all in this together. And I'm hoping that parents, when you have concerns, please contact your buildings, please email, especially with COVID, with safety. We're giving you opportunity to talk to us, to let us know how. And I understand not everyone does Facebook, not everyone does the email. I'm sure if you go into a building and say at the security, this is my concern, can I talk to somebody, can I leave a note? They'll get back to you somehow, some way. So thank you for everyone to trying to make this together. We need your help. Parents are the key. The guardians are the key. Don't let your student go on the bus. Don't let this happen prior to even getting in the building so we can keep our numbers down. I'm asking you, I'm begging you, let's keep our kids in the school. Anything else? Anyone else? Next, we'll move to public forum.
You want to sign up?
Yes.
Okay. If you could, please step to the podium, state your name and address. Your comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Please be respectful to the board, the staff, and the public that's present today. And also, please refrain from discussing any personnel matters or any individual matters concerning a student within the district. Thank you.
Up first will be Keisha Daniels.
Good evening. My name is Akeisha Daniels, 4719 Cary Street. Some of my main concerns are the COVID site not being updated every week. I am a parent of a student at Central High School, and I frequently look at the site. It hasn't been updated. It was updated today at 4:59 p.m. was the first time I've seen an update. I'm worried about the lunches as well, because my child comes home starving. He doesn't eat only breakfast at home. When he gets to school, he is not eating lunch at all. He hasn't ate lunch since August 16th of this school year. So I think that you all need to do a better thing with the lunches, because a lot of those children are starving. Parents need to be notified when any school is being on lockdown. I wasn't notified when McKinley was closed down when you all did we were just notified with Washington or Franklin, whichever school it is. We were just notified this week. So when any school is being shut down, because a lot of us have children that attend different schools, so our kids are with other sisters or siblings from other schools that we're not being notified. We need to see if y'all can do a deep cleaning when school is out. We were just out these past 4 days. So if the schools are why aren't they being cleaned while the kids are out of school and no teachers are there? That's about it right now that I have. But I'm just mainly concerned about those things that we need to get some answers for parents. And we do need a weekly update on that site with the COVID numbers, if possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Up next will be Priscilla Askew.
Good evening. I live at 2705 East Guadalupe Circle in East Chicago. To Ms. Finley, in regards to the Washington Academy, the library was very concerned that they were not told about the schools and the kids being with the COVID, and they didn't know any information. So with this being a collaborative, can they not be, because they didn't know if this kid was okay and this one wasn't, and they're coming in there every day. So we need to know that information.
Yeah, there could be, you're asking me to address this now?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was just asking a question.
Yeah, there could be some issues regarding sharing student data. I understand the concern though and the suggestion, but it's something that I would probably have to take a look at and then talk back with the superintendent about. But just my immediate reaction is I've got some concern about whether or not we'd be authorized to release just student data, period, and then also then student health data too. So, but we'll definitely look into it though, because I definitely understand the concern.
Okay. And secondly, this has been a couple of years, but as of now, I'm bringing it back, that the school trustees decided to stop holding executive board meetings. And the executive board meetings were helpful to the fact that when you came to the board meeting, you will be aware of what's going on, and it will give more time for the people that are here that's listening. Because sometimes some of the questions that are asked really don't need to be asked. Because if you were in an executive board meeting and knew what was going on, then you wouldn't have to ask this over and over. Because it's time consuming, especially for those that have kids that have to go home and feed their children or their husbands or whoever. But it would help if you get back to the executive board meetings. Thank you so much.
Up next will be Helen Steinbeck.
Good evening, I'm Helen Steinbach, 5207 East 73rd Avenue in Maryville. I'm here tonight to invite everybody again to Riley Park. We'll be there on Monday, October 24th. It rained last time. Please don't say that, Miss Askew.
25th.
25th, sorry. It's supposed to rain Monday. If it rains like it did a week and a half ago, we won't be able to do it, but we're going to try and get it in. We'll be there at 4 o'clock, and we have supplies, and hopefully if you would like to join us, we would be more than happy to have you. And this is not going to be just our first one and done. We're going to try and do other community events, and so I would love to have the community help carry that forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam President, that was it.
The next date and time for our meeting will be on November the 1st. And that will be here at 6 p.m. Can I have a motion for November 1st?
November 1st.
Yes, Monday.
Madam President, make a motion to adjourn?
Thank you, Trustee Rodriguez.
Second.
Trustee Williams, seconds to his motion. Any questions? Ms. Bigum?
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez on. Yes.